Broadcasting live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report alongside Seth Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino, and if you're under lights and you're wearing a jacket, it is most perfect. Other people might be having hoodies on, though.
I don't know. I could use.
Oh, you're a little.
And these lights are not the old
Not
lights.
the old
They
style.
aren't blasting out the heat. The old ones used to blast out. But yeah,
cool, crisp,
nippy.
borderline autumnal morning. As Brian had always say, after
I'm not even saying borderline.
Traverse Day, you get that day when you just need a hoodie, and the morning is like this. I think it's supposed to be in the 70s for a couple of days, though, right? So it's going to warm up.
It's going to be
so it's going to be perfect. I mean, it's.
And by this afternoon, it'll be fine. Yeah,
it's going to be great. Probably by the time your second show wraps up. I mean, it's quieter. That's irrefutable. But the hoodie collection is going strongly because it's.
I put one on when I walked over after TV yesterday. There was still a little nip in the air.
I would say dew point's about 48 degrees today, so it's a great day to do a lot of things. I mean, come to the track, you can just wear golf shirt and a pair of pants and shorts, everything. You'll be A-okay as we march on the final week of 2025, and but we're gonna march on either longer or slower. I don't want to know, but the number of races, folks, that are gonna come flying at you, you're gonna get about in totality like 2 extra cards based on we have 11 today, and that's just the warm-up. I wonder, 27 on the weekend, might that be a record? Because usually when we've done 14 on Saturday, they've come back with 10 on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
but that's not the way we're going this year. It's 13 and 14. I would bet a Pepsi that's the most races ever conducted live here on a weekend. I feel pretty confident.
Yeah, you wouldn't be taking much of a gamble. I don't know, but and I will give you post time, regular post time today of 1:10, but over the next 4 days. Tomorrow, Friday, post time will be 12:35. Saturday, it's going to be 12:05. Sunday, it's going to be 11:20 with a full slate on Sunday, and closing day Monday, 12:05. So there are your post times for the next 4 days.
Is that 5 different post times in 5 consecutive days?
No, Saturday and Monday are both 12:05.
But consecutive,
it changes every day over the 4
changes
days.
Every day. That can't confuse anybody. Our fans will be right dialed into it. I'm hoping to come back from Philadelphia and make the early show on Sunday. Maybe Denise can throw me out of the moving car over here. Get out. Find your own way home. So we'll be on the air 8 o'clock. The Handicappers Report is only changing for Sunday, right? We can make all the regular ones except Sunday, right?
No.
I have to do another 8 o'clock show?
8:30 on Saturday, 8:30 on Monday.
All right, I'm out for Saturday.
And then Sunday is 8. Tomorrow we're the regular time. But good programming. Note that you brought that up. Saturday and Monday we'll kick things off at 8:30 here on the network. Sunday at 8. Yeah, and you're out of town on Saturday, but we have Pete Fornatal to come in and
very nice
and substitute for you on Saturday on the Handicappers Report.
That is an upgrade on the scratch, ladies and gentlemen. He's very entertaining.
Oh, he's good. Yeah.
Now, what did his father do?
He's a DJ, right, down in New York City?
Like famously, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's because when he does his podcast, the kid's got vinyl. A lot of vinyl. Mm-hmm. And there aren't many people that have a lot of vinyl unless you're about my age. And he's not my age.
Well, and he, our old colleague here, Mick Richards, did a documentary on Woodstock a couple of years ago. He had a bunch of great footage and interviews, and Pete had him on his podcast, his horse racing podcast, talking Woodstock. So,
Well, a generational thing, right?
mm-hmm.
I think, didn't Mick get some CNN time?
Was it CNN or MSNBC?
Well, one of the big
Yeah,
cables
yeah.
had him on to
When he put out
discuss it. I tell you, he was working on it like from when I first met him. I mean, he didn't cut
he
too many
had this
corners.
footage for quite a while. It was good footage of major players at Woodstock, some of whom I think have passed.
Yes.
And so when he put it together a couple of years ago, it was, for people who were interested, it was gold.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can still find
I
it
was gonna say,
streaming.
like
And I'm trying to think
Netflix
of
or
the name.
someplace, yeah.
I'll try to look it up during the break. But,
So perfect day, quieter day, as Seth likes to say. The locals week.
there go the Bond.
Yeah.
Yesterday we weren't seeing much, and there comes the man himself in the three row cart.
This is the Rolls Royce, or the Bentley, if you would, of golf carts. I have the wrong glasses on. The poocher's got to be in the front seat.
I don't see. It
No.
looks like Jim said he's
Just
going
by
solo.
himself.
But there's a car behind him. Is that related? Maybe the dog's in the car.
Jim looks like he might be on a 2-coat morning.
A
little breezy out.
I mentioned it yesterday. I had the PPs today. The PPs for the Pacific Classic weren't out last night. I printed these up in the trailer before I left last night.
The final odds
Classic.
for tomorrow's card weren't out for Del Mar last night.
Yeah, that's but the Nashville Derby, $3.5 million. And as I looked at the PPs, it was interesting to note, I think it was 7 of the 12 are coming out of races up here. Hill Road, third in the Jim Dandy, and is showing 2 turf races to begin the career over in Ireland, but had been on the dirt since coming to America for Chad Brown, including the Jim Dandy. Test score comes out of the Saratoga Derby and the Belmont Derby, both held up here this year, had won the Belmont Derby. So that one is very interesting for Graham Motion. King of Ashes was an optional claimer up here on the 18th of July. Burnham Square comes in off the Haskell at Monmouth, and Burnham Square is showing no turf races. So you put up $3.5 million though. Simulate had been a Colonial last time. Tistastic, however, comes out of the Saratoga Derby. Sandman, obviously, coming out of the Jim Dandy. And final Noble Confessor comes out of a maiden special victory for Todd Pletcher. And Final Gambit coming out of the Saratoga Derby. So there was a slew of runners who made their last start right up here at Saratoga, a number of them on the dirt.
Now, I can see well enough that there's not a lot of words in the classification. So is this a legitimate?
Includes $1.5 million Kentucky Development Fund.
All right, so that makes it
It's
2.3.
No, $2 million.
Okay,
It's 3.5, 1.5 Kentucky Development Fund. So
still a
$2
good
million.
race, but we can't keep turf stallions in the mix. But you can run $3 million restricted. That's got to be one of the highest races for 3-year-olds, right?
Oh, geez, yeah.
That's unbelievable. And you have people
And I'm
trying turf. Where are the turf monsters? Where's your subset?
I'm just looking. All but 2 are Kentucky breds, and one of those is on the AE list. But there's also a UK bred.
So they're running for the full boat of 3.5.
Vast majority.
That's in the neighborhood of $2 million to you as a winner.
60%, yeah.
Jesus, that makes it like I would say the most valuable 3-year-old race other than the Derby.
Yeah, I would think.
That's unbelievable.
No, they ain't kidding around.
Turf race. I mean, my goodness, what was it, like 10 days?
I think it's only 7.
7 racing days?
I think.
All right. I mean, amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Is Tim Wilkin going down again? Is he?
Who?
Tim Wilkin.
No, I don't think he's going this year. He's sticking here for the last. Mike Cain, I think, is headed down.
Mike Cain's going.
Jenny Reese is there every year.
Okay.
But I think Tim's hanging here for the last week.
Then I think, if I saw the dates correctly, so I know Aqueduct is opening September 11th. I think that Churchill is opening September 11th.
That sounds right.
So, I mean, it's just tough because it's sort of they're in besides 2-year-old racing, they're kind of like in a black hole for stakes action.
Yeah.
By the nature of the evolution, what's become the nature of the game
But
today.
both of those fall meets down at Churchill are I think you really have to pay attention to the 2-year-olds that come out of both of those meets. And so the 2-year-old stakes will certainly attract some attention. I would think It's Our Time probably shows up in.
I think he indicated that. You know, what's funny is he's, I'm thinking what's very ironic is not this time, his stallion, he went to the Iroquois, which they moved to a mile and 16 2 turns when they started this September meet. And now maybe his son is going to try the same move.
Yeah.
But, very interesting as we wrap up the last week here that, between the Pacific Classic, the Jockey Club Gold Cup, I'm going to be interested to see if any horse runs again before the Breeders' Cup.
It wouldn't shock me if some do, but I think, you talked about it years ago. That most won't, probably.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, Sovereignty comes out of the track. 10 years ago, who would have thought that?
I wanted to be wrong.
Yeah, no.
It's happening. And it's going to be impossible to say the Belmont Fall Championship meet you just can't say it. It doesn't. I think even wasn't the Belle Dame downgraded to a grade 2 years ago? It's, and that I used to tell people, I said, the Jockey Club Gold Cup used to be the Breeders' Cup Classic. The Distaff used to be the Belle Dame Stakes. But this is the jump off point. So we have 11 races on a Thursday, and I can't remember that too often. So we'll get to the business at hand. Then we'll get to the DePaula play of the day, and then we'll get to the 11th.
You would think I would have these memorized by now, but no. I barely have anything
Props
stuck in my head
TV.
after 36 days or whatever it's been. But coming up the remainder of the week here at Capital OTB down at the Clubhouse Racebook today. Play the board contest. Have a little extra fun with the play the board. Swing down, enjoy some racing, get a little something to eat at Black Bear. Great food at our food vendor. And the play the board contest, that's this afternoon, Clubhouse Racebook. Same spot that tomorrow's the Win-A-Bet contest. So swing by 711 Central Avenue in Albany for those. Don't forget, King of the Hill. If you look at our calendar, that's still on. But King of the Hill wrapped up last week with a winner. So no King of the Hill on Saturday. But you can play the bounty bet, a late pick 5 at Saratoga. Play it with your Capital OTB bet account, and you're in for a shot at the bounty. And on Sunday at the Clubhouse Racebook, it's a $100 knockout challenge. Also, our syndicate team will have their play. So we're going to root for the syndicate team, which has been selected. Everyone should have been notified already. So good luck to the team. And coming up at 10 o'clock, where is my rundown? Right here. Looking forward to 10 o'clock. We have Amelia Green coming on, former assistant to Todd Pletcher. Went on her own last fall. I want to say November, but last fall. And is having a really nice Saratoga meet. We timed this perfectly. Well, I went in the winner's circle after the stake and asked her to come on. So I knew she had that in her back pocket already, but she put another win on the resume yesterday. So she had a couple of wins yesterday, including a stakes race. And then in the PG Johnson, she had a horse run a nice third in there behind the runaway winner. So nice afternoon for Amelia Green on her own now, but a nice meet overall as well. So we'll talk with her. Jay Connolly and Ray Howell will join us. They are the guys that run the low rollers contest. They also do some handicapping over on the front side for the patrons. We'll talk about all of that with Jay and Ray. Kevin Cox will join us, his every other week Thursday visit for some handicapping and more. And then Pete Fornatal and Shonda Rotondo will come on and tout the women's conference that's coming up in October, Horse Racing Women's Association Conference down in Lexington. So we'll get a little info on that as well. All of that at 10 a.m.
All right. Time for the DePaula play of the day.
So we are race 8 today. We don't have the video. That'll come up a little bit later. But race 8, Mr. Bick going for number 10 disclaimer. I did not use that one, but I looked at it off the last race and a 10-1. That one's live to me. As I say, I didn't use it, but off of that last race, I certainly gave that one a look. But again, you can look for the video from Steve coming up a little bit later on. They'll plug it in the network during the day. I would have supposed before the first.
I got here early and almost had a traffic. Where's your gift? Little traffic jam.
I put mine down in my backpack.
Unreachable area.
Well, it's going to look bad if I reach that. It's going to be bad TV.
All right.
Because it's
don't worry. I talk off camera. I do bad TV. with a semi-regular basis. We got Freddie over here helping us out. But I almost had a traffic incident at 8 o'clock this morning, and I saw Kim, and I was like, well, she's got to know Seth's on it, and she didn't say anything. She went on her way, said, I hope you have your parka for the show. But then I got to our seats, and
she didn't say anything regarding the Swedish fish.
Correct. She said hello and good morning because
hello.
she's polite. She didn't say I left a little nugget for you, etc.
Kim Weir from Therapeutic Horses of Saratoga, and then left me a
Hershey Kisses because you're not a Swedish fish guy, as I learned, and she has learned, obviously. So
and she
thank you very much. Very thoughtful.
Asked me the other day what I like if I go to a convenience store. I said, I don't know, Hershey Kisses. Boom, there we go.
See, just paying attention. All right, we have 11 today, folks. We're gonna get into it. They're going to need the 10 days off for Belmont for the horses, the number they're firing at us. State Breds going 6, Fillies maiden specials.
And I am 9, 7, 8, and 5. I have factory setting on top for Chad and Klarovich. And it's Chad and Klarovich. You hear me talk about that quite a bit. And that is a big part of what draws me to this one. But McKenzie, very good with first-time starters. 70 this year, 9 wins, 10 seconds, 5 thirds. Those are solid numbers. The Dam produced a sibling called Miss Dior Cherie that won the career debut. The workouts look pretty good. So win early connections, win early breeding, some nice workouts. Plenty of things to like here. I'll go with the 9 on top. Second spot, San Antonio Sarah goes out for Safi Joseph. An okay debut. You can't get super excited about that number, but when you look at the other horses of the run, the limited number in here that have run, that matches up, and experience does count. Dave Donk has another one with some experience, and again, kind of a low number, but ran a decent second in the debut, so I'll throw that one in. As I say, experience counts, so I give those guys a little bit of an edge. In a field where, other than the top pick, looking at the breeding, there wasn't a whole lot to hang my hat on. So for me, 9, 7, 8, and 5.
Yes, the 4, 7, 8 are the experienced horses. They've had a start. The other 6 are firsters. I'm 5, 9, 6, and I just just guessing here with number 5, bred and owned by William Butler, is an offspring of Honest Mischief, who's the one of the premier stallion sons of Into Mischief. Works are, what I expect to see in today's day and age leading up to a debut. So I was surprised to see, 5-1 on the morning line. So Mike Maker, here's to you and first-time starters. I have factory setting for second for all the reasons that Seth mentioned. For third, I have number 6. I'm going to take a shot. Quididity? I have no idea. It's Quid and then Diddy. I'm on my own, as Bob Weems once said at Monmouth Park. The other Mackenzie in here for Barkley Tag and Katie Davis, 596.
I'm going with Quidity.
Yeah, Quidity.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think you're right, Quidity.
But I didn't look it up, so I have no idea
Quid,
what or
Diddy,
if it means something. Second race on this Thursday, we are looking at maiden specials scheduled for 5.5 on the grass.
6, 10, 9 for me, and Cadenza is one of my favorite plays of the day for an angle that I very much like, which is show me something, and then the old yelling at the screen. I've said before, I don't really yell at the screen. I'm like, run worse, run worse. But in addition, the beaten favorite. Now, as much as I sit up here trying to beat 8 or 9 of them a day, I'm very not so much forgiving, but I think I'm going with the idea that there was something, and just because it didn't work out perfectly, let's see it again. So I'm going with Cadenza on top. Ira Ortiz retains the mount. Better price today, perhaps. Outside the main body, 10 market hours going out for Chad, a first on the outside, and then for third, Vajra, I apologize for that. The offspring of Vacoma, who was lighting it up. But this horse has already been a beaten favorite twice. That's a horrible sign to me, but tries turf today. But this is an example set at 7-2. That you don't even have on the board. This is one of those third place. That's the best I could do with this runner. I mean,
I'm going with Vara there. I'm going to Silent J.
Silent J,
but
Spanish.
I did not use it. But last night I was on Twitter this morning, and somebody posted a workout, and they're trying the turf for the first time, and it was a turf workout. And I will say, it looked pretty good. And so I thought,
turf workout posted.
I thought, okay, that one may
then I
better
know
my rating.
Then it's going to get hit at the window. It's going to get hit then if something like that is socially out there.
Off the fifth last
that impressive.
place,
okay.
I'm 6, 7, 10, and 9, and this is my dark horse play of the day. I went with you on the 6, but my dark horse, I went with the 7.
Okay.
And again, I had handicapped the race before I picked the dark horse. And these two are pretty close to me in being interesting, being second-time starters. But at 15-1, Sunkist is very intriguing. So, again, I'll go with my dark horse first, brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both in downtown Saratoga, right on Broadway. Stop by, say hello, browse around again. Guarantee you will enjoy it. Sunkist is a sibling to Damon's Mound. That horse won the first 2 starts of the career and won the 2022 Saratoga Special. There was an older full sibling that actually ran yesterday in debut. Grand Gesture ran yesterday's 5th race, wound up 4th at 4-1, but did not have a great trip. So I was noting to people when I talked about Sunkist that you can take a look at the horse on Wednesday and maybe use it as a barometer. I thought it was an okay debut. It wasn't, it was 4th. I would have liked better because I think that was my play of the day as well. But again, the trip wasn't ideal. So I'm going to go with Sunkist, 15-1 on the morning line, off and a less than ideal trip in debut for this one. I'm going to expect better. Horse took a little action, and a field of 7 was 8-1, so wasn't getting hammered by any means. But by Gervin, Gervin's a good first outsider. Again, sibling Damon's Mound was very precocious. I will use this one as my play of the day. So the dark horse play of the day, race number 2, horse number 7, Sunkiss. But as I say, when I originally handicapped, I too went with Cadenza. There is some very nice breeding here. Charlatan not knocking it out of the park necessarily. 16 first-time starters, 2 wins and a second. But boy, the Dam produced a sibling called Sneaking Out. Second in the first start, then won the next 4. The last couple of those were both stakes races. Been studying her, won the first 2 and 3 of the first 4. Starlight Stroll won the career debut. Smuggler's Run won the debut and 3 of the first 6. This is a family that is very precocious, and this horse didn't quite live up to it in the debut, but clearly took some action as the favorite. So, yeah, Cadenza on top. But as I say, both of these are interesting to me on the breeding and whatnot. So Cadenza, Sunkiss, and in the third spot, we'll go out to market hours for Chad Brown and Klarovich. Again, from this team, I'm always paying attention. Big Imagination, looked it up. This horse was sold to Mike Rapoli at a sale in Japan last year for over $250,000. So tuck that in your back pocket, perhaps. But in the second, 6, 7, 10, and 9, 10 and 4.
Jockey Club Gold Cup going off at 1:45 p.m. On to the third. Restricted claimers in for 30. Racing 7.
7, 4, 3, and 1. The Boondocker on top. Sean Flanagan owned runner for Chad Brown. I'm a little concerned on the drop because they had a long layoff from the debut last year right up here, which wasn't much. And then they came back down at Monmouth and ran okay against maiden specials. Then tried an optional claimer, non-winners of 1. Weren't in for the tag. Ran an okay third. And today they blast off for $30,000. And again, paid $235 for this horse that showed a little bit of promise. So again, I'm concerned on the drop, but off the last 2 races, the move into 30, I think, is going to put this horse in a good spot today. So I'll put that one on top with some trepidation. Mo for the King in the second spot, steps out of a state bred allowance condition to this open 30 conditional, and I like that class move, which I think puts this horse in a very good spot. And Blown Cover, I'm going to key on the cutback here. 1 1/8 last time against allowance type. So again, saltier company. The distance maybe didn't play into this horse. The race 2 back, I think, is closer to what we'll get today, which is going to be good enough to be in the mix. 7, 4, 3, and 1.
1, 7, 3 for me, and I had greater trepidation with the Boondocker, who could draw off and win by 3. But Mogo, to me, as I said, I was looking, Seth, the other day, there was 2 stalls open to the left for number 1. Not only are they away from the rail, the 2 stalls. So Mogo, boy, in the old days, this would be a classic where you went to the turf and it was really, in my opinion, a foundation work. And you learn that in hindsight. They've come back to go 7/8, where I think they can meet with success, and the turf race will add to the bottom as you were. Not going to get rich. This horse is 3-1 on the morning line. But number 1, Mogo, my top one. The Boondocker, coming off of the layoff, made the seasonal debut, rooting, which is on dirt, which is very difficult, but won impressively at Monmouth and raced well enough against winners that, to me, my big question, I there's no reason for a trainer to tell me the right answer. Seth, after racing winners that well, why do you drop to 30? You weren't embarrassed. You're like, and I would say this is a big move to me, Seth. I think his loss against winners first time, what I call the muscle regression and the lower buyer, I would be expecting. And this would be the race going forward. So, but Chad's, going to the Hall of Fame and he's with this horse. So there's something, but it looks different on paper to me. And then blown cover 173.
All right, we'll head to a break. When we come back, more from the Thursday card at Saratoga. Stay tuned.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on a very nice Thursday morning. A little nippy, perhaps, but boy, the sun is blazing.
Doesn't feel as nippy now, though. Do you feel?
No, you're exactly right. As I was saying that, I think it's already better 20 minutes in than it was.
This now is home run territory for folks. The chill in the air has been softened up.
Oh, speaking of chill in the air, and the last weekend coming up, just a reminder. The quarter zip giveaway comes up on Sunday. I think we both said that's right in our wheelhouse. Looks nice.
I like that. That is like definitely a newer entry into the world. There were no quarter zips 15 years ago, and they have raced up to the top.
Yeah, it looks good.
Peyton Manning does that good commercial with it. Is that
Sunday,
it's got to be
free
red,
with
right?
paid free with paid admission
right.
while supplies last. But keep that in mind for Sunday.
Since we're going to be here at 6:18 in the morning, there'll be supplies.
Yeah. So again, 4th race on this Thursday afternoon. Optional claimers with the C condition. They're on the grass at 9 furlongs.
Yes, and Seth, this is the rarity, folks. 9 on the inner. They start at the top of the stretch, and you get position. And I point that out, not because of the infrequency that they run it, but I'm 7-3-4, and I think it helps to be on the inner. I should have Junior Alvarado a chance to get the position you want, which is not 4 wide, and I'm going to take my chances for this runner coming out of multiples at this level after trying stakes action. This is the 3rd race in a cycle. Inestitude. is my top pick at. I'd be happy to sign up for 6-1 right away. Where do you have the 4? Okay, I got to get this to 4. Alluring Angel for second, coming out of the Della Rose, which was the seasonal debut, folks. And then for me, follow that up with an effort that could be good enough to win here. Now, American Sonia making the seasonal debut and coming out of, what would you say, Seth, one of the 3 greatest turf races in the world for fillies?
It's on the undercard of the arc, right?
Yes.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah. And what's it usually at 10 furlongs, right? The Prix d'Opera, but it's the seasonal debut. It's coming out of races that are world class, but Seth put her second, I put her third. So 7, 3, 4.
Yeah, and we may wind up looking silly here because this
runs
is
over the top of them.
The 3 races back was a near miss in a Group 1 over in Deauville, and but again, October to August, the end of August, and has been working at Turfway. I couldn't.
And
quite
didn't
pull
run
the
well
trigger.
at Saratoga. I mean, that was a generation ago for Europeans. I mean, but you did try the New York, and that didn't go too well.
Came out of a Group win to run 8th last year. So I couldn't quite pull the trigger. Kathy and Marissa on the top spot for me. Comes in off a couple of Southern California Stakes races, was in the barn of Rick Dutrow, now moves to Chad Brown for Michael Dubb and Company. And I just tilted in this direction. I think can kind of sit a stalking trip or be not too far behind and make a closing run in the stretch. So I'm going to go in that direction. Then American Sonia in the second spot, and Noir, also a European import. Todd Pletcher, Irod Ortiz on board. Hasn't been facing quite the company that American Sonia has, but has a nice record, certainly. But again, has to overcome a layoff, so I was a little concerned there. Immensitude in the 4th spot for me. Alluring Angel, I also thought was interesting. But in the 4th, I went 5, 4, 8, and 7.
5th race on the card, 3-year-olds. Optional claimer, starter allowance, 6.5.
7, 4, 6, and 2. I thought the 1 was a little bit interesting as well. If you're on Bob's Carrot, I wouldn't talk you off, but I went Bear Claw Necklace on top. Seffi Joseph runner. That 3 starts so far this year and a couple of thirds, but the last was the best yet. Not just this year, but in the career. Showed some punch before, just fading a little bit last time at 7 on a sloppy track. Now cuts back to 6.5, and again, seems to be maybe moving in the right direction and kind of having a light bulb turn on after 5 career starts. Irad Ortiz on board. That certainly is a plus as well. I'll go in that direction. Second spot, Tactical Track Star. Off the latest effort, this might be the one to beat, but the latest effort was a maiden claimer. Claimed out of that by Linda Rice, moves out of the barn of Brad Cox. Again, that last race was very good, but was accomplished on a move against Lesser. So I'm not sure. This one's a little bit of a puzzle today, but I'll put it in the second spot, again, with a Linda Rice trainee. And then Bye Bye Miles in the 3rd spot. Claimed last time, moves into the barn of Mike Maker for Jay Provenzano's Flying Z, and I think it's going to be a cozy fit with this bunch. Again, a couple of wins in the last 3 starts going back to Oaklawn. The latest workout says the horse should be on his toes, even off the June claim, but should be a player for me. In the 5th, 7, 4, 6, and 2.
And 20 minutes later, the next battalion of the Jimmy Bond horse. 217 and Uncle Jim, for me, you have to do a little work here. If you eliminate the efforts on the off racetrack, has run like 3 or 4 races sharp enough in here. If Tactical Trackster, the Buyer speed figure is clearly the best in this race, etc. But Uncle Jim, who's going to be probably twice the price of Tactical Trackstar, I think fits in here. And as I said, you got multiple claims in here, but just go through and, highlight the fast racetrack efforts. I have Uncle Jim on top. Bob's Carrot, the Seth made mention of 2 races back, broke the maiden, and then ran in this condition, but caught slop. So, you should know my feelings. I kind of set that aside, and I'm going forward. And then Bear Claw Necklace making only the second start since the middle of May. 217.
Race number 6 on the card today. State-bred maiden special runners going 3/4 mile.
And if my math is right, and I'm double checking, get to say something that we don't say very often anymore, and that is split division from the first.
No.
The first and the sixth are split divisions, and it used to be a far more common thing with maiden special weights, open company, New York State breds, where so many entered into the box. And that's what Jeff Carl told me. He's like, just because you see 16, 43 might have entered. But this is a split division. I am 8-3-5 in this one. Magic in my eyes, Amelia Green, who I think, isn't she part owner of the stakes winner also?
That's a nice little
horse out. Extra check. Debut runner, the offspring of Classic Empire, costs $100,000. For second, clap back. This is my angle that I picked up that I began developing last year. You go back 5 workouts back, a bull at 47 breezing for the debut, and then Absolute Smoke, offspring of Honest Mischief, 8-3-5 in the 6th.
I have it 6, 5, 3, and 4. I'm going to put Rena's Revenge on top. By Yaupan, that obviously attracted my attention. The workout 3 back, the bullet, best of, you get a 2-year-old and they're best of 56. That kind of stands out. So I'm going to tilt slightly in that direction. Owned in part by Harold Lerner. I had a nice conversation with Harold a couple of days ago. Absolute Smoke in the second spot. Number of the siblings are win early. And this one by Honest Mischief. With, again, a couple of nice workouts underneath. And, again, win early siblings stands out. And then clap back in the third spot for Ron Maquette. Another one with some nice workouts. Total of 9 racing siblings. One of them, Bellamy Brook, won the first 2 starts of the career. Although they were Finger Lakes and Thistledown. Make of that what you will. But for me, 6, 5, 3, and 4.
Take a quick break. We'll be right back.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops, my bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have the PG Johnson for the 2-year-old fillies. Now it's time for the 2-year-olds going a mile 16th on the inner. The With Anticipation.
3, 5, 1, and 6. Capital Partner on top. Chad and Klarovich coming off a nice little maiden debut score right up here at Saratoga. The number isn't spectacular, but in this group, it seems to be pretty good. So we'll look for this one to be heard from down the lane. Second spot, Dr. Agni. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is the offspring from Lady Eli that was kind of a popular Victor back early in July 11th, Cherie DeVoe trainee. And again, being the offspring of Lady Eli, there were some high hopes from all the connections and lived up to it, even though it was a turf race, moved to the dirt. So again, the number was very light, but I'm going to think that maybe we improve number-wise with the move to the turf today. So I have that one in the mix again. And then final score going out for Todd Pletcher off a nice maiden breaker last time, making the dirt to turf move and stretching out in the second career start. Went off as the favorite and looked pretty good, lived up to it last time. So that one in my mix as well. In the seventh, the Whistler Anticipation, 3, 5, 1, and 6.
Do you think it's the lowest winning buyer of the meet?
Wouldn't shock me.
I would say in open company it probably is. I mean, that's but today is the day when he gets what you're projecting is the more preferred moment and a distance of ground. You know, I mean, there's a lot to like to dismiss the 47 on Victory. That was just some might say that was house money almost. You're like, okay, 3-1-2 for me. I like Capital Partner very much. The Kingman angle, middle distance turf off of the W impressively off of the pace for second final score from the rail, and not this time. I've talked about how many turf winners he's had, and boy, ran in and off the turf, then got the 2-turn turf race and made every pole a winning one. And then here's Johnny. Speaking of Johnny Carson, even though this might be more of The Shining, I can't tell which is for, but here's Johnny. Oscar performance. It is The Shining.
Yeah,
it is.
Because I was going to say that's not real. Blanchett was better with Oscar performance than here's Johnny. But you're right. It may be a reference to Jack.
3-1-2.
Yeah.
Wendy, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your brains in.
That was an inspired performance, certainly. The eighth race at Saratoga today, maiden specials going 1 1/8 miles on the grass.
There are parts of it looks like Nicholson did it on no sleep. 9, 7, 11. I thought this was a wide open affair, and Seth and I have two common runners, which surprises me. I'm not surprised that the one that you've left out or that we don't agree on is my top pick at 20-1. Spun to me, you're talking about, a function of the chance to win and the price. I think, I have to tell you, I think I'm in the mix with 5-1 shots and the Twirling Candy going 11. I'm going to take my chances. I think I've had 3 very long morning line shots that I put on top, and they haven't run well, not a single one of them. But this horse is amazingly consistent. I'm going to take my chances. That Spun today, shocks the world at a big price. David Donk sends out the 7 off of a very good performance most recently. That was at 1 3/16 miles. That's as far as we can run going 2 turns. Now we'll see. And then number 11 for Chad Brown makes the 3rd start, hit the board in the first 2, 9, 7, 11.
I have an 11, 4, 7, and 2. I'll put Durand on top. I am concerned about the post position at the 1 1/8 trip, but you're going to have some stretch to work with, and hopefully Manny Franco can find a spot. But off the first 2, with nice improvements, start 1 to start 2, to just miss last time, I couldn't move this one further down. Again, I may regret it going into the first turn if we have a bad position, and that's possible from the 11. But
your horse is uncomfortable,
but then
not covered up.
Then you go with somebody else, and they get a good trip, and you're like, that was the horse I really liked. So I'm there. Cromwell in the 2nd spot, Cherie DeVoe trainee. Lessing down at Churchill running, an okay 4th. The career so far has been okay. It's been all on dirt. We switched the surface today off a little bit of a layoff. I'm going to trust that maybe they're making a clever move here to the turf, because what we've seen so far, as I say, the record is, no wins, a couple of seconds in a third and 5 starts. But you look, and they were all pretty good tries. So we'll see what this one does on the comeback and the move to turf. But I think there's a possibility for a nice performance, and Organite in the 3rd spot off a near miss last time in the 4th career start in a series of improving efforts. If the Dave Donk trainee continues that, I think is dangerous in here. In the 8th, 11-4, 7-2.
And the 9th, what Seth and I grew up with in New York, a vanilla claimer, 50,000, 3-year-olds and up, going 7/8. Perhaps Seth, the bedrock of racing in our time.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was it. There was claimers, and there was a price tag, and that was it.
And I would say they're probably less prevalent now than the conditional claimers. I would
Absolutely.
think. Yeah.
It's noteworthy. I can't tell you how many books of handicapping books that they talked about conditions that we never saw in New York. It was like amazing. But now we're in the boat, and that's why this is, the bread and butter of racing of probably 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Yeah, no question.
In New York.
9th race this afternoon, 9, 4, 8, and 1 for me. I'm going to put 24 Mamba on top, going out for Flying P, and Tom Morley on a class move that I have to think is going to be beneficial in here. Last few starts have been okay against better. Claimed 4 starts back and was facing optional 100 claimers in the last 3. One of those was a win. The last couple were okay, 4th place finishes. But again, cut the price in half, I think moves this horse forward. Barksdale in the 2nd spot for LK Cantermachi off the claim, and he's very good off the claim. Horse won last time, so I think square fit with this bunch. You look down the page, this horse has faced better for most of the career. And then in the 3rd position, we'll go with Unlimited Potential, also Ilkay Cantermachi, also making a class move like some of the others in here that I think will be beneficial. You also get a distance cutback that I think will help as well. In the 9th, 9, 4, 8, and 1.
3, 6, 9 for me. I'm hoping Tahoe Sunrise, who's making, I can't believe this, the seasonal debut today. You have to look through, and it's a big reach, and 10-1 might be a little light, but 2 years ago wins the Shared Belief, which is an up-and-coming listed stakes race in Southern California. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be kind of like the Curlin, where it's going to be a prep for the Pacific Classic if you don't want to run in the San Diego out there. Taking out the turf races, the wet racetracks, it's a memory race. I mean, this horse at one point in the career had the talent to be a major player here. Norm Cassie's runner taking a flyer here. Win it, number 6. First off the claim, they're taking blinkers off. And then 24 Mamba on the outside for Tom Morley. I would discard the mud effort, but the ones before that, certainly competitive in here. 3, 6, and 9.
You talk often about disregarding the layoff these days as compared to when we first got in the game. This is a situation, and for the most part, I'm with you. This is a situation of horse was claimed in November, and that they aren't claiming.
Yeah,
we'll come back in August.
Yeah,
so
no, there's
a little too much of a.
This is you're relying on the trainer to get to his spot, and as I said, I actually think I'm not taking 10-1 on this horse. I think that's anemically low. I'm almost talking like spun. That I want to be near 20-1 because I'm pushing a big stone up a hill. And as I don't think I've said it too often this year, the higher the price, the more questions you're allowed to ask. And I have like 5 to 8 questions. Yeah. So I gotta get a big price.
All right, we'll do our last break. When we come back, the last couple here at Saratoga on a Thursday. Stay tuned.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Again, top of the hour on Racing Across America. Looking forward to Amelia Green. Nice 2-win day. In her first season as a trainer up here at Saratoga, one stake, won another one, placed in a stake yesterday. So it was a nice day. Great timing to have her on today. Jay Connolly and Ray Howell, the guys that man the low rollers booth. There's 2 more this season, so we'll talk about that and more. Kevin Cox will join us, do a little handicapping, and Chandra Rotondo and Pete Fornatel to talk about the Horse Racing Women's Association Conference coming up down in Lexington in October. But the 10th race today, optional claimer starter allowance, a mile on the grass.
I not a major sin, but I'm 485. Those are my selections. A bad job on my part for this reason. Competitive Threat is going to be, in my opinion, very undervalued. He's 1 for 7 for the career, gets bet every single, not every single time, but the last 4 times is going to get bet today. And I don't know that's a stick out from that. So that's a bad job on my part because he's just not that, he's unreliable at a bad price. So I think because I'm seeing like 7 to 5 in my future on Competitive Threat. But that's where I am. Life advice. I will say the one thing I should have reached for somebody else, and probably Life Advice and Competitive Threat. I probably should have flip-flopped them. Roy Lamont 40 years ago on 2 separate occasions, put the racetrack on its ear, a little quieter these days. First off the claim. He's listed in the form as only done it 1 other time, but I like the tactical speed. And then Urban Star at a big price. Big price has to run the race of the life to better this 3rd place rating, but 485.
4, 1, 11, and 3 for me. Number 4 is Competitive Threat, as you say. Will likely take the action. I wasn't sure, though. I mean, I think that you're right. This is kind of a big competitive field, but it is Chad Brown, and so that may.
And the others seem to be
down.
clearly under him. It's not like too many of them have, run 78s or 79s.
Yeah.
They're running like 64s.
I was thinking the 2 to 1. I could see like 9 to 5. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, but it is Chad Klarovich. He's going to take some action there. Sinane, if I pronounced that correctly, and I don't think I did as I'm thinking about it, because I've heard it, pronounced during races where I thought, oh, that's interesting. But comes in off a nice start back in June. That's the knock, a little bit of a layup, but it's Brad Cox, should be ready to roll. And again, what we saw back in June was good enough. And artistic success in the 3rd spot, lightly raced, but has some potential, obviously, given the maiden breaker last time in the 10th, 4, 1, 11, and 3.
And scheduled to wrap it up at 6:47, 5.5 on the turf.
3, 5, 8, and 9. I thought 2 was also a little bit interesting. The 2, Chad Brown and Klarovich. Debuts for 50, but was sold at Tatter Sales in 2023 for 342. So I was a little bit concerned there, but I wouldn't knock you off the 2. I put the 3 on top. Sod Siren comes in off a debut down at Gulfstream for Safi. Came up in a couple of works up here. I think will be well met in this spot, moving maiden special weight to maiden claiming. 2nd spot, the Commish, also maiden special weight to maiden claiming, but this one has 2 maiden claiming races already under the belt. One of those was a decent 3rd, so should be in a good spot. And Billy Whiteshoes goes out for Wesley Ward. I was kind of interested. Goes out for Wesley Ward, who also owns the horse, and he bred the horse. And if you look under the breeding thing, it says Mr. Wesley Ward. And I thought, why does it say Mr. when you look under the breeding of other ones and it's bred by a person? There's no that was curious to me. I'm sure I don't think there's any big story, but I just thought it was kind of funny. 3, 5, 8, and 9.
We just flip-flop the top ones, which is the nature. It kind of exposes how differently we look at it. The Commish might have stepped up to maiden special weights, and maybe they're chagrined about it, but it's the less well second race that I would anticipate. So they go to maiden 50. Kerry Bryant, I'd be pretty confident I'm not going to get claimed. I think the commission at 12-1 is a player in here. I'm not upset at the maiden special weight race. I expected less. And then Sod Siren that you have first time in for a tag, and then the 6. So 5, 3, 6, wrapping up the 11 race card.
All right. First few guests are in the house, so we'll wrap it up here for the Handicappers Report on a Thursday morning. Any last thoughts?
It's getting nicer and nicer.
It is getting nicer and nicer.
He stays, I go. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.